Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to the Inward Man. This is the 22nd installment of the Inward Man. If you're new to this channel, my name is Symmanayah, and these are a reflection of the things that stir within inside of me. My brothers and sisters, I am one who will forever step in a position to proclaim the names Yahuah and Yahusha. I believe the rise of the 144,000 and great multitude mentioned in Revelation 7th chapter will not happen in an instant. It is a process, and many of us will be surprised. With that said, this segment focuses on connections and continuity, unity, Yashar'al made whole. My brothers and sisters, not to be condescending or to act like I know big words, or for those who may consider this as a big word, I want to read one definition of the word continuity. Uninterrupted connection, succession, or union. You know, many of us speak of a time when Yashar'al will come together, or we believe that there will be a final exodus. It is important, my brothers and sisters, and I'm saying those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father, it is you who I consider my brothers or sisters. Brothers and sisters. Connections and continuity is important if there is to be a final exodus before the physical return of Yahushua Mashiach, and I believe there will. Unity is important. So what are we doing to get to know one another? What are we doing to forward strategies when we come in the presence of strangers to ask questions, to seek to discern whether they are indeed set apart Yasharal, part of those who would be made whole? This is a time, my brothers and sisters, for us to look at the realities of what it takes to fulfill what is written regarding these end times. Let me read some scriptures, some of which I've read before, some that I am reading maybe for the first time in a while. Proverbs 14:26 says, "In the fear of Yahuah is strong trust, and his children have a place of refuge." Strong trust. The fear of Yahuah is strong. In the fear of Yahuah is strong trust. Are we doing things to grow to the point where we trust him? I must admit, I struggle. I wrestle with these often. And I find favor. I find that the Spirit of Yahusha forgives me. I find that I am strengthened in recognizing the power of atonement and recognizing his living presence, his set apart spirit working within me. But my brothers and sisters, I say this. We as his children, that place of refuge begins spiritually and will indeed prove to be physically. But there must be a fear of Yahuah, lest we find ourselves stepping into our own ways and means. Ezekiel 34th chapter, verse 11 through 16 reads, "For thus says the Master Yahuah, see, I myself shall search for my sheep and seek them out, as a shepherd seeks out his flock on the day he is among his scattered sheep. So I shall seek out my sheep and deliver them from all the places where they were scattered in a day of cloud and thick darkness. And I shall bring them out from the peoples and gather them from the lands, and shall bring them to their own land. And I shall feed them on the mountains of Yasharal, in the valleys, and in all the dwellings of the land. In good pasture I shall feed them, and their fold shall be on the high mountains of Yasharal. They shall lie there in a good fold and feed in rich pasture on the mountains of Yasharal. I shall feed my flock and make them lie down, declares Master Yahuah. I shall seek out the lost and bring back the strayed. I shall bind up the broken and strengthen what was sick, but the fat and the strong I shall destroy. I shall feed them with right ruling." My brothers and sisters, truly, it would be important for us to discern whether we are indeed his sheep. What are we doing to ask questions of one another? If we see blatant things that we have problems with, or that we disagree, or that we don't understand, let us begin to talk to one another. Let us begin to communicate. so that we can rest assured ourselves that we are among his sheep. And this comes by fearing him, for it is written, how in the fear of Yahuah is the beginning of knowledge. My brothers and sisters, we have an obligation to seek to discern his voice. And he has promised that he will indeed discipline and refine us. And I mention that often, as it is written in Hebrews 12th chapter. Connections and continuity, unity. If we believe all these things, if we believe Yashar'al will be made whole, there are some things we must do. Matthew 8:11 and 12 says, and I say unto you that many shall come from east and west and sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the reign of the heavens. But the sons of the reign shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Many may not realize this, but it's describing how the children of Yahuah will indeed one day sit with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But when it says the sons of the reign in this version, it's talking about those who are of the reign of wickedness. Those are the ones that's going to be cast into outer darkness, my brothers and sisters. Seek to discern the life in these words. For oftentimes when we read, if we're trying to use our own literacy skills, our own reading and comprehension skills, we will find it hard and difficult to understand what the Father is saying to us with our Almighty Father, who sent his set-apart Spirit as our teacher in Yahusha's name. Romans 12:4 and 5 read, for as we have many members in one body, but all members do not have the same function. So we, the many, are one body in Messiah and members each one of one another. One body, my brothers and sisters, one body. Does that not place the thought in mind that there should be some connections, that there should be some continuity, that there should indeed be unity? Yes, my brothers and sisters, Yashar'al will be made whole. 1 Corinthians 12:14 say, we indeed, the body, is not one member, but many. So as we recognize that there are many members, not every member would know what everyone is doing, but there should be enough continuity that brings us together, that helps us to come away from compromising set apartness for the sake of thinking that we're growing numbers, that's unity. That's not unity. Growing in numbers is not unity. Unity is having the same frame of mind and worshiping and obey the Almighty Father. Unity is understanding the connectivity in the words and in the skill sets and the things that we do, how they help build up the body of Mashiach. Pray, my brothers and sisters. Pray, for these hours demand things of us that maybe we have taken for granted or taken lightly. 1 Corinthians 1:10 says, and I appeal to you, brothers, by the name of our Master Yahushua Messiah, that you all agree, and that there be no divisions among you, but that you be knit together in the same mind and in the same opinion. I say to you, O Yashar'al, if we are in disagreement, let us be as iron sharpening iron, like metals, who seek to worship and obey the Almighty Father. Let us indeed engage in conversation in our pursuit to agree. And if we cannot find agreement, let us step away from one another until such time that we can agree. Let us not be walking among each other, backstabbing one another, talking behind one another's back, knowing we disagree, knowing that there's a division. This is wicked and is unscriptural. Let us pray, my brothers and sisters, that we learn how to navigate this journey, connecting with those who indeed we find ourselves in agreement. Let us pray, my brothers and sisters, that we can discern the continuity that is necessary for unity. It will come in the wake of extreme humbling times. Yashar'al, O Yashar'al, and I speak both of Hebrews and Gentiles, made one by Yahusha HaMashiach. If you doubt these words, consider this. Ephesians 3:6-7 says, the Gentiles to be co-heirs, united in the same body and partakers together in the promise in Messiah through the good news, of which I became a servant according to the gift of the favor of the Almighty One given to me according to the working of his power, We are co-heirs, my brothers and sisters, whether Gentile or Hebrew or Abri. We who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father, we who seek to worship and obey Him, we who are brought together as one by Yahusha HaMashiach. I want to also read Ephesians 2nd chapter, and what I just read just then was Ephesians 3rd chapter, verse 6 and 7. I want to drop back to Ephesians 2nd chapter, verses 18 through 22. It reads as follows. Because through Him we both have access to the Father by one Spirit, so then you are no longer strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the set apart ones and members of the household of the Almighty One. It continues by saying, having been built upon the foundation of the emissaries and prophets, Yahushua Mashiach Himself being chief cornerstone, in whom all the building being joined together grows into a set apart dwelling place in Yahuah. It grows, there's growth, there's discipline, there's maturity, there's continuity as we grow together. Those who seek to obey, those who come to discern what is indeed true, those who can overcome the differences by understanding what is necessary to discern and come into agreement. Pray, my brothers and sisters. It goes on to say, in whom you also are being built together into a dwelling of the Almighty One in the Spirit. Remember, my brothers and sisters, it is also written that those that seek to worship the Most High, we must worship Him in spirit and in truth. Are we sincere? Many of us are quick to say, sure we are. Yes, unequivocally. There are many among us who boast strongly and with confidence, but yet we lack the fortitude to pursue with earnesty the ways of the Most High. You know, my brothers and sisters, this journey is real. It is as real as one can imagine. And sooner or later, we will grow to realize that. I believe that as humbling times come, our eyes will be open to understand the importance of connections, communicate with one another, the importance of discovering all that the Most High has for us. With that said, my brothers and sisters, just ponder on these words. I say to you, let us ponder and let us pray for building connections. Building connections, we will discover how critical and how important that is. We will grow to discover why there must be continuity. There must be unity among an awakening nation. Yashar'al will be made whole. On that note, my brothers and sisters, I bid you much shalom. I will say this, be encouraged. Be encouraged. Continue to trust and believe that the Most High knows our minds, our hearts, our very intent. Until next time, shalom, shalom, shalom.